We're going to sit side profile to it. Something that I notice, and then a lot of you guys will notice, changing the position of the head to find your relationship here. I want to think the position of my shoulders here. Right now, my shoulder feels like it's kind of behind the ball. So if I come slightly forward, shoulder's now atop the middle of it. And now all I really want to do is create some depression through the shoulder girdle. And as I do that, I load on top of the ball. I'm now able to see that, okay, contact down here. I'm missing a little bit of contact here, and that's where I want to expand. So I'm going to take an inhale, working to settle more and more weight exactly where I have less contact. Nice and comfy on. I want to put as much weight as I can into this area. It shouldn't all be in my hip. To be able to effectively treat this without pushing down into it. I'm trying to squish it from the expansion of my lungs. Now, it's nice to say, hey, do this for a set period of time. But as with anything here, we're talking about places that are significantly less conscious than our hands and feet. So if we're working through our trunk, what we have to do is we have to find a point where we've relaxed into it. We can see our tissue is adjusting to it unconsciously through yielding mechanism. There's the, the melt practice, settling into their pliable balls. Very similar. That's going to be step one for us. Once we've established step one, now we're going to learn how to take more of our viscera, more of the tissue that is in contact with whatever tempering device we're using, and we're going to try to shift it not so that our center of mass shifts, rather so that we fill out the intrinsics of our frame. So I'm just filling out my ribs a little bit right here, learning how to get the side profile of my lungs and my ribs to just be a little more dimensional. When we get to a clear division of, okay, I've relaxed into it. Now I'm able to create a little bit of activity on the back side of the relax. Then you're starting to learn how to proactively design your tension to work with the exercise. But as with anything, I mean, we do have to understand what part of us is capable of yielding and what part of us is capable of bracing, because more often than not, they're not the ones that we necessarily want to work with. I feel a lot of my body down here yielding into this effort, but it's essentially taking away some of the more active relationship I have with the ball. So I have to condition some of the bracing that I'm doing to define that my weight is settling into the ball. So none of this stuff is inactive. There will be some certain cues that work more for others than they do for me, or vice versa. And that's just to say some of us need a little bit more time to figure out the yielding practice and then figure out how to wake up the tissue on the other side of that. Right side's a great example for me. I am right-handed, but I can feel a definable amount of tension here in my ribs, which is probably to say this is tension that controls my shoulder blade. It controls the height of my shoulder, and it probably controls a lot of the motion of my clavicle. And I can already feel like it's a little bit sore in this position. So my goal here is to learn to yield enough that the surface area of this right side of my body feels like it coats the ball a little better. So I'm going to send a little bit of a push this way, which is settling directly more weight into the ball, nice and comfy. Whenever I say that, it's typically not comfortable, but I still say it because having a little bit of positive sarcasm with the difficulty you're having is probably going to keep it a little bit easier for you. Just make fun of yourself a little bit, and you're not going to take yourself so serious. But when you start to feel pain when you're doing something, I would sooner acknowledge the pain than try to hide from it. Right now, I'm feeling discomfort, and my goal is to increase that discomfort. If it starts to get sharp or overwhelming, obviously I'm going to take a step back, but none of it's like that. And I know I can handle it, so I'm just going to play around with creating that discomfort, and I'm going to depress that shoulder, increasing that discomfort, but also creating a little bit of a stretch in here. One of my ribs is separating from that tension point I was talking about. Letting your head relax oftentimes is very helpful. I think some things that you can do in this position is you can grab a band and you can get that stretch going. If there's a little bit of stretch to your upper arm, you're going to find that you have a lot more weight into this, or at least potential to put weight through here. play it by ear. If you don't want to overcomplicate it, just do it exactly as you've seen it, and don't confuse yourself.